Well, my first experience raising chickens was quite interesting. We lived in Ringgold, Georgia, and we lived in an old Civil War home, which was an experience all within itself. And we had redone the home, we'd refurbished it, and put in a new kitchen, but it was built during the Civil War. So it had a fabulous root cellar, it had several outbuildings on the property, and there was a hen house that was up the hill from the house. And so I decided one day, okay, I want to raise some hens. I want eggs. And eventually, I wanted to raise some baby chicks. So we found someone who sold chickens, and we bought a dozen chickens. And I will never forget when we took the chickens up there, and we took them up in cardboard boxes, and 3 cardboard boxes with 4 hens each in it, and we dumped the cardboard boxes out. We had prepared the hen house beautifully, and we had we'd put the water and feeder hangers in it. Floor was covered with straw. Their little laying brooding nest were all set, and they were ready to go. And so as soon as they came out of the boxes, they made themselves at home, and it was wonderful. I kept checking every day for eggs because I didn't know when hens lay eggs. So I just kept checking. And the day that I checked and found my first egg was monumental. I grabbed that egg. The closest neighbor was probably at least a quarter of a mile down the road. And she was a really good friend of ours. So I grabbed that egg, I put it in my hand, and I held it just like this, all the way running from my house to her house to show her my first egg. And I was hooked. I absolutely loved having hens. But the greatest experience came when we decided we wanted to have some baby chicks. And we bought a rooster. We picked him out, picked him up, put him in a cardboard box, brought him to the hen house. This is an experience I will never forget as long as I live. We dumped him out of the cardboard box, and as soon as we dumped him out of the box, all of the chickens backed up. They gathered around the sides of the hen house, and the rooster looked around as if to say, okay, girls, this is mine now. And he stood right in the middle. There was a pecking order that had been developed over the few months that I'd had the hens before we got the rooster. And it was that one big black hen would always come up and eat first. Then the 3 hens that were right after her would come up and eat. And then all the other hens would eat. Well, we dumped that rooster out. That big black hen moseyed up there to that rooster as if to say, you think this is yours? Let's see if it is. And she began to fight. And Philip and I are standing back watching this in amazement. He had spurs and she didn't have spurs. So you can imagine who won the fight. She backed up into the line with the other hens. Then the next 3 hens came walking up as if to say, well, you couldn't beat her, let's see if you can beat us. They began to all 3 fight him, and he defeated all 3 of them. They backed up into the line around the hen house, and he waited for someone else to come up and challenge him. None of the other hens came up and challenged him, and in just a couple of minutes, he spread his wings, he flew to the top rafter, and crowed as if to say, okay, girls, this is mine now. And he was truly the king of that hen house from then on. And we did raise baby chicks, and we did get lots of great eggs. So that's the first experience I had raising chickens and fresh eggs.